In the wake of allegations made against State Senator Diane Wilkerson, many Bostonians are expressing concerns over potential ethical misconduct in local politics. Of course, corruption and intrigue are nothing new in Boston. For this segment of the News in Context, we examine the bribes, backroom deals, and bad behavior that are the cornerstones of New England's political process. Fans of both legislative history and mixed martial arts are no doubt already aware of Matthew Lyon, a congressman who served in the House of Representatives between 1779 and 1811 and has the distinction of committing the country's first recorded political ethics violation. On January 30th, 1798, Lyon was charged with gross indecency for spitting on Connecticut Representative Roger Griswold. It should be noted that while fellow legislators were disgusted by Lyon's spitting, they politely ignored him when, a few moments later, he tried to beat Griswold to death with a pair of tongs. Proving that New England has indeed inspired the nation, in 2007, Charles Bishop of the Alabama State Senate kept Lyon's memory alive when he punched fellow Senator Lowell Barron in the face for calling him a son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Whoops. The 1800s proved to be a particularly fertile time period for political scandal. New York's Tammany Hall became synonymous with graft. Deals between Irish Catholics in Chicago established what would lead to decades of essentially dynastic political succession. And Oakes Ames, a congressman from Massachusetts, would become embroiled in a corruption case that wouldn't be seen until now. Ames, who helped establish the Republican Party in Massachusetts, also had a vested business interest in the construction of the Union Pacific Railroad through contracts his company owned. The contracts were moved to the Credit Mobilier Company of America, shares of which were sold at reduced prices to congressmen who agreed to vote in support of Ames's initiatives. Ames was censured and forced out of politics. The people of Massachusetts showed just where they came down on the issue of corruption shortly afterwards when they made his son governor. Perhaps one of the most well-known political scandal makers in the history of Boston was former Mayor James Curley, also known as the Purple Shamrock. A popular Faneuil Hall bar shares the nickname, and patrons can be reminded of Curley's reputation for running scams whenever they try to buy a cocktail there on a Saturday night. Over the course of his career, Curley was involved in influence peddling, voter fraud, and nepotism, and either in spite or because of this fact, he remains one of the city's most beloved figures. His questionable dealings and dubious ethics continue to inspire local leaders to this very day. So next time you hear about Wilkerson accepting bribes or Sal DeMaisi manipulating fellow legislators to march in lockstep with him, keep in mind they're not guilty of corruption, they're just celebrating a long and glorious Boston tradition. And that was the News in Context.